Okay.
The
So
Keanus.
Here we are.
Bill and Zippy.
Here's some rain noise. And we're
And
gonna
here's some sounds of computers.
So last time on the
Oh, I should turn
let's
this off.
redo the intro. Let's redo the intro.
Okay.
We're gonna redo the intro.
Okay. Oh, it's the next song's coming up though. Let's see what the next one is.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's grab this noise. This week on the Keanus. Yeah.
We're gonna see what he's up to.
We're gonna find out how Keanu is dealing with the quarantine.
He's always doing great
He's a positive guy who's helping lots of people.
in a real hard time.
Keanu's with Bill and Zippy.
That was solid intro.
Yeah.
Yeah. But here we are inside again.
I might have been holding my phone upside down and it'll be muted. Who
So
knows?
We'll find out when we listen to it.
Yeah, a lot of people get a whole fancy podcast set up. I think that we need a video gaming chair, because that's what people sit in when they do podcasts.
That's true.
And
We need one of those ring lights so we look really
we
good.
need a ring light and a microphone on one of those lamp arms.
Ooh, just like a boom mic of sorts.
Yeah, just like... That's
Bet
moving it.
They can see it
Yeah.
in their mind's eye.
I'm painting a picture with sound.
Mm,
Yeah, this is an art podcast.
I think everyone realizes that.
Yeah.
Someone was recently listening and they were mentioning that you have the most soothing voice of anyone that they know. They said he should be a therapist, and I said,
I am a therapist.
yeah, which is fabulous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is like, it's not audio therapy, but if you want to go back and loop the rain noise and just breathe, that's understandable.
Really focusing on the exhale, though, as we learned in episode 2.
Yeah, that nice, long, steady, and put a sigh into it if you need to.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh.
Hmm.
Oh. Yeah. So here we are.
Keanu most recently used improvisational dance
Yeah, ecstatic
communication.
dancing.
Yeah, ecstatic dancing, because a lot of the people at the ranch with Keanu,
Yeah.
are there... I can never tell 3 or 4 of the beat poets apart. I don't know if there's 3 of them or 4 of them. Are 2 of them brothers?
I think they might be related, 2 of them.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
they kind of like interchange. They swap in and out, and they're each wearing different hats.
Yeah,
though,
yeah,
so that's
yeah.
how you can tell them
That's
apart.
how you know. What language do they speak?
You know what? It's still uncertain right now because they haven't actually spoken. They've taken a vow of silence.
Okay.
Yeah.
There are beat poets who've taken a vow of silence. And there's 3 ladies who love and sort of don't really like each other.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But again, they respect each other on such a deep
Yeah,
level.
absolutely.
Yeah. Respect and distaste often travel together.
Yeah, they're like 22, 42, and 68.
Yeah, and they're like, I love you, and shut up.
You're always talking. Hand me that ice cream.
Exactly. Which they do make their homemade ice cream there. I just want everyone to be aware of
Oh,
that.
for sure. It's a really simple recipe. You can watch Velma videos if you need to get an ice cream recipe.
Yeah. So you should just go and check that out, which is great.
So we're in the barn.
Yeah,
We've
ecstatic
just
dancing
ecstatically
happened.
danced and discovered that cake tube is the answer to the question Keanu's been asking.
Yeah.
Why can't I have more cake whenever I need it?
Yeah.
And why won't it stand up in my fridge in a nice sealed tube that I can pop a top on?
Just whenever I want.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that we can all agree that we've all had that same question. That's like the universal question of when I have a cake, what am I going to do with it when I'm tired of the cake?
Yeah, we've been eating a lot more baked goods. It's quarantine, and that's what's happening.
Yeah.
For Keanu, his go-to thing, he's always got donuts on the go. So if you're
Always.
feeling a little sad...
Fill that hole with a donut hole.
Yes!
Right?
You can still breathe through it.
Mm-hmm. That's a nice thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So they've kind of had this discussion, and then they're like, okay, how are we going to actually get into this? And then they started discussing how they were going to make the cake tubes when
Knock at the door.
knock at the door.
I actually want it to be... it's a door on the floor.
Oh, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It is.
Jim the Miner.
Jim the Miner, he comes up and
Yeah.
he says to them, oh,
no.
It's 2 of them, Jim and his friend.
Yeah, he's actually a miner. He's 13.
He's a miner.
He's the miner and the miner.
Jim and the Miner.
Yeah.
They say, oh, no. We need to
Bye. Build? Was it build?
Build. I was going to say build. I was going to say build.
What do we need?
But then they started going back and forth because it was too hard to do it together.
Yeah, so obviously on the ranch, Keanu has a vast underground system of caves. And
Obviously.
the water reservoir underground it's getting...
Too full.
Too full. There's
Too
too
full.
much water.
Yeah.
So they've got to help people, and they're going to start bottling water
Yeah.
and giving it away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what the miner and the miner were trying to say was that, but they were so out of breath. They were trying to say it at the same time, and they couldn't.
They couldn't.
But they wanted to say we need to siphon the water into water bottles,
Right.
but we haven't any tubes.
As we look over, Keanu is standing in the corner, frustratedly rubbing his head. He's just so fed up.
Yeah.
Plastic bottles are clogging the ocean. And yeah, I'd like to help people and give them fresh water, but people have taps, and we're okay on that front. And if we're going to help the people who need water, we're going to send it far away.
Yeah. And they were saying, where are we going to get tubes as he starts munching from his cake tube?
Yeah, he has a prototype, and you poke it in the bottom and you cut it off the top. Or if you're feeling real saucy, you just poke it in the bottom and eat it like an ice cream of cake. Yeah.
Ice cream of cake. So he's holding this tube and he says, Eureka! I know what tube we're going to use to siphon the water from the cave into these water bottles.
And the miner's like, rah, 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 because he realizes that his problem is not going to get settled. It's just going to flood the underground caves, which is just really not that big of a deal. Keanu sometimes doesn't listen because he's busy solving other problems.
Yes.
The miner deals with it, and he just puts it away, and he listens as Keanu talks about
The cake tube.
the cake tube.
Becoming the siphoning tube. But to be fair, I think Keanu might have been confused that the miner's problem was his problem, which was the filling up of the water in the cave.
Yeah, actually, maybe we've been misreading the situation, because I'm far away up in the water tower.
At
Where
that
are
point.
you?
Well, you're making a whole bunch of paper airplanes
I
at that
am
point.
making paper airplanes, but I'm also looking through my telescope and watching this whole situation unfold.
That's right, because the barn has no roof, so you can see through the
Yeah.
top. You can watch it all.
Yeah.
Where was I at the time? I was drawing in my drawing room.
In the main house.
In the main house. So I was up on the hill in the main house, just drawing whatever happened to come to my brain. And the odd thing is it turned into just a paint by numbers. I was just drawing the paint by numbers.
Oh, that's a really nice idea.
Yeah, and so just writing numbers all over a piece of paper, and then
Drawing little sort of shapes of the color blotches.
yeah, and then I was just gonna mail it off to someone.
I think we should give that a try.
I think we should. I think we could probably make some big bucks there, Bellwood.
Yeah, homemade paint by numbers.
Yeah,
Artisanal paint by numbers.
that's when you get big money from that.
Yeah.
Like artisanal Tums that you had yesterday.
We're not talking about Keanu enough.
Okay, circle back.
Circle back. We're not hitting it. Keanu doesn't feel emotionally connected to this
He
situation.
doesn't.
No.
So what does he do? Come in. Oh no!
Somebody's horse broke down.
Someone's horse broke down.
Yeah, it's having an emotional horse breakdown, just sobbing on the road, and he can't get to where he has to go home. He's obviously standing far enough away. He's quite embarrassed about having to bother people.
Social distancing.
Yeah, but
So he threw rocks at the door. That's what made that sound.
Yeah,
was
yeah.
The quick succession of rocks.
And then they all poke their head out. 7, 8, 9, 10
of them. We're not sure.
Little heads.
Yeah.
Sort of all framing the edge of the door. Keanu's standing in the middle in a halo of his compatriots. And he says, "Oh, I can probably help with that." And he goes. He gets his curry comb. And his he gets a little toolkit because he might have to deal with the horse's shoes.
Yep.
Yeah, but he heads up.
He also gets a doctor bag because, as we know, he's an animal doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times physical elements are in the body, so but also they're instigated by the brain. So the horse might be having some somatic expressions of his difficulty.
Yeah.
And Keanu's going to go and help with that.
He's
too.
ready for anything.
Yeah. So he walks up to the horse. You got to be You got to be careful. Keanu's not a fool.
Of course he's not.
You don't rush a sobbing horse.
Ooh. Now this horse just looked broken.
Yeah. Tell us about the horse.
Well, his face was so long. Just
He was long.
just long in the face and big tears.
Yeah.
Yeah, and And Keanu looked at him and he said, "Oh no!" And the horse said, "Yeah, oh no.
Yeah, no.
I'm having a time."
Yeah, and Connie's like, I can definitely see that. I connect with you.
Mm-hmm.
I feel that inner yell inside of me. Why, just this afternoon I was screaming on a rock, and the horse is like, "Oh, you got a rock to scream on here?"
I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Wait, want to take me up there?"
For sure. Hey, do you want me to give you a bit of a rub down first? He's like, "Yeah, I've been crying a lot." And the horse sort of nods and neighs, and Keanu walks up and blows in his nostrils and sort of ruffles his ears. And the horse leans against Keanu. And he just starts to give him a nice rub down, get all that sweat off him.
Yeah.
He's had a tough day.
Tough day of crying.
Yeah. Every once in a while you get a little catch breath off him still as you
Oh.
But
that horse was having a hard time.
He's having a really hard time. And Keanu's like, "Do you want to talk about it?"
And the horse is like, "No.
No.
I want to just scream about it. Tell me about that rock."
This way. And he takes the horse and he just lays his hand on his flank. And they walk into the woods. The guy standing through the rocks at the door.
Who's still social distancing.
Yeah, he's still social distancing, but he sat down on a bench that Keanu had made earlier that day.
Yep. It was a very comfortable bench.
Yeah, super comfortable.
Very comfortable. So he's watching as they walk to the rock, and they each gently walk up the back of this rock. It was beautiful, and they're out looking over this canyon.
Yeah. And it echoes back, so you feel really seen when you scream.
Yeah.
And the horse just lets it rip.
Yeah.
Just bellows, and you can see it like flowing through him, like anger and sadness, powerlessness, just a sense of unfairness.
Yeah.
Like a real base physical rage. Sometimes he kicks things and he doesn't feel good about it.
But he does it because it feels like he needs to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got to come out somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And as he screams, he starts to cry again, but it finishes.
Yeah.
It sort of lets itself out.
Yeah.
The horse looks at Keanu, and Keanu
slow claps.
Wow.
And you know what else is happening all around? All of the people at a very respectful social distance below this giant rock are also slow clapping the horse.
The horse walks to the edge of the rock, and he says, "I'm working really hard. I have to carry this guy. It's Joseph. I have to carry Joseph." Have you all met Joseph? Yes, says the youngest woman.
She has a thing for Joseph.
She has a thing.
You've seen her side-eyeing him. He's
Yeah.
on the bench, and she goes, in 6 to 8 weeks, call me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the other older two ladies sort of look on approvingly.
I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joseph, he seems like a catch.
He seems like a nice... Well, first off, we know he's got a horse.
Number one.
Yeah,
Win.
and so the horse is like, "I work so hard.
Mm-hmm.
I have to carry Joseph around. I have to walk places. I pull things. I get breaks. I have some nice times. I'm not going to lie. Like, it's not all doom and gloom."
Yeah, he has a cigarette break every now and then.
Yes.
He's trying to break that habit. That
I
was
go
one
to
of the things he was shouting about.
I run around. I toss my mane.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some lightness to this. But also, I think the horse is feeling unappreciated. And Joseph has to own up to that.
I wonder if he can.
He's feeling really on the spot. To him, it feels like the whole circle is turned and he's in the middle of it.
Because it kind of has.
Yeah.
Like, literally.
Yeah, he's on the outside.
Yeah.
And they want to know, why would you do this to the horse?
Yeah. So Keanu goes over, and he wants to graze the man on his shoulder, but he can't. Social distancing.
Yeah.
That's when he gets his respectful social distance sticks.
Yeah, they're like long grabbers.
Yeah, and they have
6 feet.
They have leather gloves on the
He
end.
made, they're these beautiful anatomical hands that Keanu's modeled on his own hands.
His own hands.
And he's
he puts hot oatmeal inside the gloves.
Yeah. So they're warm, and they're leather, and they've got this nice armature covered in warm oatmeal in a leather glove. It's the closest thing Keanu could find to human touch.
Yeah.
He tried everything.
He tried everything.
Hot rocks? No, it just felt like you were being touched by an angry robot.
Yeah. No one wants that when they're having a hard time.
Yeah, so he just comes in and he takes the guy's hand in his extension hands. Mm-hmm. And he holds one hand and he sort of walks his way up his arm, elbow, shoulder. He's almost got that sort of hug where you're holding somebody's neck. It's a little possessive.
A little bit.
Yeah.
But Keanu makes it not possessive.
Also, he makes it nice to be had.
Oh. Yes.
Yeah, he holds you down. So he's giving this guy a sense of containment so that he can touch in with his absolute shame and embarrassment over not seeing. And he, to be honest, he knew what he was doing to the horse.
Deep
But
down he knew.
he needed the horse to do what he was doing, and he couldn't think of any better way to deal with it, so he just ignored his own guilt.
That's a hard one.
Yeah.
We've all had that one.
He looks the horse dead in the eye. The horse looks at him. They huff together.
And they begin, lean on me
When you're not strong, I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need.
And everyone joins in.
Somebody
to lean on. Oh,
Yeah.
that's how that happened.
Joseph and the horse mount up. They waved to everyone. The horse is happy to take Joseph home.
Yeah.
He's got a family
And snacks.
and snacks. It's going to be okay. Everyone sort of heads in, but Keanu's like, I can hang out for a little bit.
They slowly shuffle home.
Yeah. He locks up the barn. Just does once around the sort of property to get a sense of what's going on.
Yeah. Then the breeze ruffles his hair.
Yeah.
He knows there's somewhere else he needs to be.
Maybe
That's-
bed. Maybe into the dark of a bog. Who knows?
We'll have to find that out.
Next time on
The
The Keanu